Good evening. This is Lieutenant Joe Wacido. I also go by Joe Hartkin. My name is Yonner Joseph Hartkin Wacido. And I am recording a quick video to address what I believe is the biggest problem facing combat veterans coming back. It is not fully and adequately addressed. That problem was outlined pretty well in a paper by a think tank called Center for New American Security, CNAS, a couple of weeks ago. That paper was about the trauma from heavy rockets like AT-4s and small rockets in the Marine Corps, Carl Gustav rockets in the Army, which are now being used in the Marines and Special Forces, as well as the high impact of all types of machine guns, 50 cals, Mark 19s, 25 millimeter chain guns on 25 millimeter cannons. Now, of course, all of us who served in the infantry acknowledge the risk of that. It's part of why we did it. But that's the one thing that a large number of infantry special operations guys have in common. And what I believe the best answer to that is, as part of an overall treatment plan, is basically the best of cyber to address that hearing. Now, as a result of that, I, for one, as an experienced infantry officer, have tinnitus, which is this continuous ringing in the ears. And that is, it's a pretty bad injury for someone like me. I've got an undergrad history degree and a graduate degree in law and business. But, that's what I did, and I gladly do it again, and gladly do it again in the future. Now, there are certain things that are happening now. There's better hearing protection, over-ear hearing protection for current active duty guys. What I'm recording here to address is how some of the current things from industry and commercial off the shelf can be used to help mitigate some of these problems with TBI to the ear and hearing and to tinnitus. The best solution, and I've just kind of come across this today, are these. These are the Apple Buds. I just started using these today. They work the best. You get really good audio quality. They pair up, obviously, with an Apple phone, and I have had a very good experience today just starting to test these. I'm a big fan of the Apple Pods. The Google Buds, I was using them for a while. They work great for a couple of days, and then they really faded out. They're always falling out of my ears. The ergonomics weren't good, and I lost the pair I was testing. Now, these things have a lot of potential because they apparently have real-time translation capability built in, but the execution just was not good in terms of having that last piece that keeps it in your ear. Anyway, I'm gonna find my set, or figure out how to acquire a new set to continue to test. Now, I've had a couple of Amazon Bluetooth, such as these. I ordered these off of Amazon. They come in this handy little case. Work great, like 2 times, and then they kind of died. I mean, and I've been trying to recharge them, and so it's just kind of hit and miss, not good. Same thing here. I ordered these off of Amazon. They're like the $20, $30 price point. These are supposedly waterproof of some sort. I've tried them, you know, charged them, and it never had them work once. So I think that there's a huge amount to be made for having consults from the Veterans Administration in the area of TBI in basically cyber, just, you know, getting the cyber stuff to work for veterans. Now, the last point I will make about getting this gear is that there are some companies out there that will donate for free gear to veterans who have a not-for-profit. And one of the main companies that I found that is willing and able and does follow through on all that is Home Depot. Home Depot is what I have seen is the greatest veteran-friendly company. As just the latest example of how veteran-friendly they are, I am showing you this, which is a knife that they gave me as a donation to my charity. It is the SOG trident, and normally the MSRP I've seen is $114. I think the price in the store they were quoting was $49. But with the right paperwork, they did in fact give this to me for free. And this is a premium blade. I mean, you don't get any better than this knife. Extremely sharp, assisted opening. Little safety thing there, which actually works well. And then comes out sharp. Only had it a couple of days. Took it in the pool, which it didn't really like, so I'll avoid that. But it stays very sharp. Cut my finger on it a couple of times. So I say this by way of, number one, kind of getting a pointer out, and number two, saying that Home Depot is a really super veteran-friendly company. Highly support them. Highly recommend that all Marines getting out of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force consider Home Depot. And the best point of contact is Sergeant Robert Whitehouse in the Santa Ana Home Depot. He'll always talk to Marines. Good man. Okay, coming back to the subject of business for veterans. I highly recommend that all veterans, when they're getting out, or even their wife or husband, while they're in, apply for something called a Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise. So the term in California is Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise. And the way you do it is the subject of some other videos that I've been showing, and which I'm going to continue to expand upon. But these pages have the step-by-step directions to get the DVBE certification. It is a way to get a set aside and a preference to get government contracts with all types of government entities. And here are the steps. So you register your business, and there are the websites: eprocure.dgs.ca.gov. And then you become a certified DVBE small business. And then you use the contracts register with the state of California to prospect for business. And then your goal really is to become a California multiple award contractor. You want overlapping contracts because any given contract can fall through. I had that experience, as I'll talk about it later. You basically want to, be swimming. You don't want to just rely on your kick from one leg. You want to have a stroke through your arms, and you want to have multiple sources of propulsion. I did not necessarily have all that, and I'm going to share the lessons learned as to how you can do that better. And then you want to market your business to state agencies. The most effective method is probably email, and then there's a bunch of seminars to get in there and make your sales. This is a good reference document for that purpose. This is what's called a green lining report, and this is from the Green Lining Institute. You can find it on their website. And this breaks out the performance of each of the 16 major California Public Utility Commission companies and how they perform in their allocations to disabled veterans, which also includes women businesses and minority businesses under the umbrella. So, as well as LGB businesses and women of color. This is a good overview for you to take a look at because it will help you formulate your sales strategy. Out of the 16 companies in the California Utility Commission, some perform well and some perform poorly, and you may want to try to target which companies and which areas do not perform well in order to gain business. So that's my closing thoughts for tonight. And I will tell you on a broad level that my efforts are going to be tied in with several major organizations. The first organization is the Jesuits, who run a company organization called Homeboy Industries up in Los Angeles. I see veteran industries as a parallel type of project, and it can include a lot of the things we've been doing in my organization, including building veteran housing with donated materials from Home Depot, which is by itself a very good business plan. We call that Veteran B&B, among other things. And there's a educational component, which is to educate how to take the Series 65 and pass it, as well as the getting your company set up under the veteran set-asides, or even better, to get your company set up as a not-for-profit with a purpose of benefiting veterans. And then, you can get some benefits from that and take advantage of those to help the situation of the veterans who are impacted. But what we're shooting for is an alliance with the Jesuits on the one hand, and then secondly, of course, the U.S. government, the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, to expand their veteran business program, and the U.S. Department of Defense to help to transition veterans, as well as possibly to improve the communication for the benefit of the cyber area, what we call cyber corridors. Okay, well, with that said, I'm going to sign off. My name is Lieutenant Joe Hartkin Wasito. And I'll be glad to follow up on this as we get moving down the road on our class on veteran entrepreneurship in the Series 65. Thanks. Out here.